This scandal's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And if it turns out that Biden didn't know who he was signing off on, then can the Trump administration call those null and void? Many believe so, which would put one Anthony Fauci in a really, really bad spot, because it has now come out that guess what? Anthony Fauci's pardon was done by the Autopen. So if the Autopen is null and void, because the president didn't know what he was signing, even though he's trying to suggest he did, I'd like to see if he knows all 8,000 names on there, right? If you read them off to him, does he even know who they are? Probably not. He only knew one guy, and for that guy, he signed himself.
Looks different. It looks authentic. In fact, if you look at the last name, it almost looks like the president was having a hard time spelling his last name there. Is this White House of the opinion that the only pardon that would count is one that the president signed himself?
It's very interesting. Very interesting props. If you want to bring them to my office later so I can take a closer look, I would like to do that. The president is making a good point when he discusses the usage of the Autopen. Who was running the country for the past 4 years? Perhaps those documents were signed with the Autopen, something that I believe the Department of Justice is looking into. As you saw, Ed Martin made an announcement at the Department of Justice this morning to launch an investigation, because the American people deserve answers.
Is there any concern that this president, who won the election on a promise to fix the economy and close the border, that focusing and scrutinizing these Biden pardons is looking into the past instead of looking forward? I
think in comparison to the amount of time this president has spent on securing the border, on fixing our economy, I just read out for you an entire list of economic accomplishments. Look at the border numbers. Look at the time and effort he's divulged into solving the global conflicts abroad. It pales in comparison, but it still, nevertheless, is a very important issue. And it was a huge issue that sent the president back to this White House. The Americans saw with their own eyes a mentally incompetent president, and they want answers for that, and the president believes they should have them.
And something that just crossed, Caroline, how mad do you think President Trump is going to be when he finds out that Elon Musk said, "I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination."
So, I would say this, though, as much as this president has promised transparency and, getting to the bottom of the Autopen scandal is very much part of that, it gets back to still concern that we're not getting enough transparency when it comes to the conflict at hand, right? The entire rollout of this Epstein thing. Like, what is it that the FBI really believes in terms of Epstein? That is still going to haunt this administration. And I don't think there's like an easy path for them at this point, because for whatever reason, they're making a decision not to do this. They are making a decision. They wanted to do this, and suddenly it's getting shut down. And you got to ask yourself why. And how do they salvage themselves and not allow for the vultures on the left to come in and completely break up the party right before midterms, interestingly enough, right? That would be really bad. I got some stuff I want to show you. We can go back to Ghislaine Maxwell in a moment, but I want to show you something from Tom Homan, because he just called out this heckler down there in Tampa, Florida. It was absolutely hysterical. Before we do that, reminder, we're fully independent here on the Trish Regan Show. We love it that way. Independence is a good thing. Make sure that you help support our sponsors and continue our independence here by going and checking out Balance in Nature. I'm really, 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 really suddenly very in touch and in tune with Ingredients List. Maybe I credit, I do credit RFK Jr. with this, because I don't think I ever was so laser focused. The poor kids, they don't get any Fruit Loops anymore. Maybe they will in the future, because, Ferraro just bought them, the Italian company, and they don't like any of those bad ingredients. So maybe they're going to redo Fruit Loops, but I took all the Fruit Loops away. Kids are like, my son's like, hey, what are you doing? I love my Fruit Loops, but they have that red dye in them. And I bring it up only because Balance in Nature, terrific vitamin products that they have on their website, there's none of that stuff. Like all those things, all those synthetic junky things like the red dye, etc. You don't have to worry about that with them. And it's important to know that even in your vitamins, right? You want to make sure that they're clean. Go check it out, balanceinnature.com. You get 35% off if you use my name. So use the name Trish, T-R-I-S-H, 35% off. You get free shipping and money back guarantee. So it doesn't work, you don't like it, no harm, no foul.